Tonight, we're here to share a powerful story, a story that highlights the ripple effects and the impact that can happen when we turn toward rather than away from life's hardest moments.
We're all connected by loss and mortality, but we're also connected by the way in which we respond to it.
In 2002, he was diagnosed with CLL, resulting from exposure to Agent Orange during the Vietnam service. In 2005, he had his first heart attack, which was treated with 2 stents. In 2012, a 3rd stent was placed. In 2018, he had bypass surgery. And in 2024, it was the finding that he had a reduced ejection fraction from his heart, which was the first diagnosis that we considered untreatable and began to realize what might lie ahead.
Prior to this diagnosis, I just viewed that, life was going to go on forever. And I would continue to work with my nonprofits and continue to do the mentoring that I most enjoy with younger people. And so it was learning and serving and mentoring were the 3 things that really drove my life.
Maybe you can share with us then about the diagnosis itself and how that experience has changed your lives.
I think most of us focus on day-to-day activity and the future and don't realize that we live in a very time-limited space. And particularly in our culture, it's not a very acceptable thing to talk about the end of life and death and tragedy. And we try to have those things sort of be behind the screen. I was suddenly assigned to the Advanced Heart Failure Clinic and the Palliative Care Clinic. That's a message. So what this did is sort of brought everything to a halt. And we went through a process of reevaluation, what needs to be done. What about our bank accounts? What about this? What about that? And started thinking about the fact that I would not be here very long.
What new actions are you taking on account of this this relationship with mortality?
Well, the thing that's most important is just celebrate every day. Look at your partner, hug them, tell them you love them. One of the profound things that happened to me is that for the first time in my adult life, I really got in touch with my inner emotions. And so it's been a big transformation for me. But I think Jane also has a lot of thoughts about where we were at the time of diagnosis.
For me, the first thing was to see Peter become very vulnerable and fragile. And I think you can see that even to today. We quite don't have that set yet. But I think went inward, contemplating what my life would be. What would it be like without Peter? But out of this 2-month period, and that was really, really rough, there came some good news. New tests indicated that death was not as imminent as we thought it would be. As we've been led to believe. So we realized that we had more time. So where are we now? Much better prepared for the inevitable. I have changed. We sat and talked about this, and I said, are these true? Do you see these changes in me? Am I more gentle than I was? Am I more empathetic? The answer was yes. We're communicating much, much better. We're spending more time together. We're taking naps together. I think at this point, our life feels to us both so much richer, and our life is certainly happier. A strange thing to say.
It's so profound to hear from you both I want to bring up Stephanie Hsiao, an advanced heart failure and transplant cardiologist at Stanford University. And she's our proud partner we're going to talk about it in a second, at Reimagine Doctoring, which is just launched at Stanford. Stephanie, as Peter's cardiologist, you've been closely involved in his health journey. How has that experience shaped your perspective on the role of physicians, including yourself, in these deeply human moments?
The prescription of this job for myself is actually helping people live. And in some way, I think I was, you know, it was hard for me to talk about the alternative. And then Peter was actually the one that said one day, "Oh, Stephanie, what about death?" It just hit me at that moment. And then I was like, "You're right, Peter." And I'm sorry I didn't talk about it because I'm uncomfortable about it. And I feel like medical care system, we don't send patients to palliative care unless we exhausted everything. And then it was almost like a warm and cold handoff. And then you feel like your job is done and then the other person takes over the baton. And there's something really inhuman about that process that I myself hasn't able to really do it very eloquently.
You know, one of the exciting outcomes of your vision and the story that you just shared is now how it connects to Reimagine Doctoring that we're launching. We've just launched together at Stanford. Maybe you can just share a couple words about what is manifesting through this.
One day, Peter said to me, and he was like, "Stephanie, I want to fund any idea you have to make medicine better." And I was overwhelmed by kindness, and I felt that physicians need to be healed. So started, collaborating with this platform, really centered around post-traumatic growth. And then now we have recruited 20 physicians from critical care medicine, and we're just in a room meeting monthly on workshops on some of the hardest thing that no one wants to talk about.
I just want to show everybody what it is that we are now doing together. Just a little sneak peek of what we launched just last week at Stanford. We've plugged into this platform that we've been working on. And here you see Reimagine Doctoring. Folks, they're able to sign into this platform. You can see here, this is what we've been working on for the last 2 years at Reimagine, a feed of people transforming their pain into beautiful things, into action, into service, into small ways of responding healthily. We don't have a like button. Instead, we just have the holding space button. You simply sit with someone else's story, and you breathe and you slow down and you take in another person's journey in life. What if we all could just slow down and do this? This is the currency that we're creating this program around. So that's the vision that we have, that because of the generosity and the conviction of people on this stage tonight, we're starting to make happen in the world.
I would just point out that, this is the beautiful example of leverage. Each of us can't do very much, but when we have someone like Stephanie, you can make a huge difference. And so think carefully about how you can use the leverage of your privilege, your position in life, through other people to make a difference. And I look at Stephanie, what an amplifier you are. Thank you so much.
I am so excited to introduce our next panelist here. James Higa is the Executive Director of Philanthropic Ventures Foundation. PVF embraces radical collaboration and innovation to demonstrate what philanthropy could be. In addition to this, James has had a very long and storied career in Silicon Valley. He reported directly to Steve Jobs. As a musician myself, as you may see later, it is so exciting to be with him as he helped really spearhead the launch of iTunes that transformed all of music in the world. If you could just share a little bit about the role of philanthropy more generally in transforming, suffering.
I got to that answer through technology. I think about it a little bit differently in that I think of beauty. And what we were trying to do was to create more beauty in the world, to leave it more beautiful than when we found it. And perhaps the way we could do that is if we built the best personal computers that we could. Humankind's best tool to date, could it change the way people are informed, the way they are educated, the way they communicate with their loved ones? And in many ways, I think it has. And it is my belief that you can transform the world just as much through people, through communities, as you can through technology. And the way to do that is to really think different and innovate.
Thinking about, the hard parts of your life, the challenges that we all face, the themes of the event, the sparks that we each have in our own life. We all have hard things that we face, whether it's an inch or an ocean of water. What is one why wait you have right now in your life? One thing that you want to do to live now rather than wait?
Many of you know, I spent a long time working with and for Steve, and I think you've heard the story of his last words were looking up and he said, wow. And that's helped me reimagine how I think about the rest of my life, however short, however long it is to live right now. Why wait for saying, wow, tomorrow as I live tomorrow? And why wait for the wow for the day after that?
So for me, it's to live in the here and the now. Why wait to tell your spouse you love her? Why wait to give that gift that you've always thought you wanted to give to some charity? Why wait to give advice that you wanted to give to one of your grandchildren? Why wait to embrace the love in the world?
What if everyone just could ask that question? Why wait?